Peter Thomas Fornatal back with you on the latest edition of HorsePlayers Happy Hour, and we're already underway. Why is that? Well, due to accelerated post times at Saratoga today, their 8th race has already gone. The last race in the contest is now going to probably be that Del Mar 3rd, unless something strange happens. But so yeah, we're off. We're underway. We can check a leaderboard very soon. But really, my biggest message. Well, I'll wait. We'll wait a minute. We'll talk about it as we go on. I don't want to spend the whole show yapping about what I was about to go into right there. I am taking a look. No, we will not have a leaderboard until this race is official. One thing I can tell you is a little bit of a change of pace, a little bit of a misunderstanding. We're not going to be having live race videos during the show. I don't think anybody really watches for the live race videos. I really like them. I like the flow they give the show. I think they make the show seem more professional. But yeah, contractual stuff. We cannot do that. One of these weeks, and it's not going to be this week, one of these weeks, I'm going to use it as an excuse to attempt to call some races because I've always wanted to do it. I've never done it. I've always been too scared. This may be the impetus I need. You know, one of our business mantras at In the Money Media is when possible to try to turn negatives into positives. Maybe this could be turned into a positive by getting me to try to see if I have this club in my bag at some point, but not today, not up for it today. Maybe I'll make a hold screen. I don't know what we'll do. Maybe we'll just talk through the races more generally. Anyway, we'll figure that out when the time comes. And I'll tell you what, the time is going to come pretty soon because it's 0 minutes here at Del Mar. They're a minute from the gate, so we still got a second there as we have one of our co-hosts for today's show ready to join. Give me the thumbs up if you're ready. Here he is, folks, from America's Day at the Races, from the In the Money Media Network, from his own eponymous JK Plus One podcast. Here is Jonathan Kinchin. What's up, JK?
What's the word, PTF? Congratulations to you and the team today at Looms Boldly. I said your name like 3 times on the show, so you're welcome.
Don't say my name. Say In the Money Media. Preferably subscribe to the In the Money Media YouTube channel.
We did the YouTube channel read.
Oh, great. That's terrific. Well, we'll see.
I did it. Greg Wolf said, hey, JK, you should do this.
He did that same gimmick again. That's great. Now that you're prepared for it. I don't like this low angle. I'm going to find something to put over here. I have a new box of Nespresso stuff. But yeah, that was what I was alluding to. I was going to, if we weren't in the midst of a bunch of races, I was just going to start the show with a giant boom. But I decided not to do it. I didn't want to go down that rabbit hole until you were here with me. But I mean, this is just ridiculous at this point, JK. Gem Mint 10, first Saratoga winner as an owner. Now this, I'm 1 win behind Rapoli in the owner standings.
Well, no, I don't know. Yeah, Flying P just won again. Jay Provinciano.
Yes. So. Yeah, I'm coming for him. You see Seth or Jason, you tell him I'm coming for him. We kid, of course. Be lucky to have one more starter up here, but it would be wonderful. And obviously, that's not the way owners work. It's, the whole partnership. Anyway, people know I'm kidding. But just an incredible thrill and something I'm so happy to be a part of. Thank you so much, first and foremost, the team at Adelphi. For the Gem Mint 10 win. I have a giant win photo here somewhere. I'll hold that up at some point. Joe Migliori, Ray Handel, Matt Couture, Rich Cristiano, they do such a great job. And then obviously with Clay Sanders and Marshall Graham. I mean, what a fantastic tribute to have. And then how lucky did we get that this horse, obviously I think they thought the horse was going to be good based on this family, but he has exceeded expectations and hopefully will continue on this upward trajectory. They're probably off at Del Mar. Let's take a look. Yeah, they're off and running at Del Mar. I still haven't looked to see how many entries we got for the contest. We'll do that after. At the moment, there's a 1 to 5 shot turning in, being hand-ridden very confidently. Though there is a horse making a little run from the back in the form of the number 7, but he's throwing the kitchen sink at that one. And the jock takes a confident look back on this number 1 runner who isn't exactly breaking any clocks, I don't think, here in the lane, but is very comfortably in front and is going to run out an easy winner in the first at Del Mar. In the end, it'll come 1-7 for contest purposes. And the next race will now be, they went fast early there, actually. So I didn't mean to denigrate this this winner with my comment about the stretch drive. I think the horse, had just done the work already. Why do more than you need to? Had you looked at that race at Del Mar at all? Was there any beating that thing?
I didn't look. I knew we weren't going to be able to see it, so I did not look at that one. Del Mar's tricky, especially on a week like this, where like I feel like handicapping for situations like this is harder because you have to kind of handicap for two different scenarios. So like even like today, like at Saratoga, I was looking at these races with two different lenses. Luckily, we got the first half of the card when I was on the show, the grass races, and shout out our friends at Glen Hill Farm with Aspen Grove and Jack, which is fun. Which is also funny too, because I told everyone we're playing that Survivor game. Jack Sisterson was in it. He's been knocked out, but I texted him today and said, sore subject, but can I use your horse in the Survivor today?
I don't know the etiquette on that, actually. That's a good.
He was happy to help. He was happy to help.
So you're still kicking in that thing, huh? For folks, I'm sure we have some folks who are new around here. Good turnout today, given the weather, especially 175. I bet you there's some new people here from those ads on Fox shows. Speaking of which, that makes me feel good to see that number go up by 30 this week. That's pretty cool. If you're new here, join us in the comments. One of the really fun things here is the fact that we get to interact. Chris answering that question about the 1 to 5 here. Just thought it wasn't the best group and might have been a bit of a giveaway. We'll see what happens as far as that goes. But in any case, despite going too quick early, in theory, just nothing was coming, and leaves means it's great if you get those points, I suppose. Of course, it's great if you get those points, but everybody's still in it too with two races run here so far. As I'm giving you a tour of the new kitchen, as I get all my beverages sorted for this HorsePlayer Happy Hour. We take this thing seriously around here. I assume tonight there's not going to be a lot of happy hour for you, as you've been presumably boozing it up the last two nights at the sales.
Well, I didn't go Tuesday night, partially because we went so hard Monday night. I didn't go Tuesday night, but I did go to John Legend last night.
Oh, you did? Fun. How was that?
Very, very good. Outstanding, as a matter of fact. It was good. We used one of his songs at our wedding. So
of course, the wedding song.
Yeah, he was awesome. He was really good, sensational. So
that must have been very special to see. Rob Capalbo, beer snob, approves of your beverage. I didn't see. Was it a fiddlehead? There it is.
I usually go with the glass, but
that's all right. You don't have to be fancy all the time. But all right, back to my point. I went on a rabbit hole thing. I wanted you to talk about this Survivor contest that you're participating in, because we're fantasizing with this contest jockey website that is helping people feed in to potentially all the way to the Breeders' Cup Betting Challenge. We'll have more info on that based on Justin Mustari's performance in the Fourstardave Challenge on Saturday. But we're toying with the idea of trying to do some other types of games, and maybe some type of non-traditional Survivor contest would be fun. We've got a good programmer who knows what he's doing. What are the rules of this one? Remind me.
Yeah, it's basically just, and this is something that I stole from the Matisses. They have one every year, and someone just asked me to do a tight little game. There's only 10 of us in it. And basically what it is if you run first, second, or third, you're safe. You pick one horse a day. It's got to be in a field of the rules that we did were a field of 6 or more. I think Paul and Duke, theirs is actually maybe 8 or more, but we did 6 or more. And you have to, if you run first, second, or third, you're safe no matter what. If you run 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, whatever, you're okay as long as someone else runs worse than you. So you can be 4th as long as someone runs 5th, or you can get eliminated. Funny enough, we've been doing it for like 13 days. Yesterday was the first day no one got eliminated. Every day, someone has gotten eliminated. And then if you run last, this is a rule I got from the Matisses. If you run last, no matter what happens, you're out.
Interesting.
Which has happened probably 4 times.
It reminds me of an old sucker bet concept that we've talked about this before, but that I think I got from, and if you have a monitor or a second screen, let me know where they're at Saratoga. I mean, I think we have time. But help me out, help produce me a little bit while I have
plenty of time. Before I came down here, they were crossing the wire. So
great. Yeah, I think
mathematically,
I'm gonna forget. So when I produce myself, I'm not good hosting really. But I figured there was no sense spending money on a producer without the live video. So there you go. You get what you get, folks. But the sucker bet concept, I think it was an Amarillo Slim thing. And I forget I got to look up the particulars of this, but I forget what the odds were on the bet. But the idea was, you just have to pick one horse to show in every race in the card. And, and it was for something that's actually insanely hard to do, it was some sucker bet price. And I always remember being amused by that. And it just goes to show, I mean, like you said, somebody getting eliminated every day, horses finishing last. It's one of those things that sounds a lot easier than it is. What has been your main methodology? I mean, I know you're such a phenomenal player.
The way we did it, we've been, since there's only 10 of us, we've been kind of morphing along as we go. And we did it where, the first buy-in was like a base number, right? Whatever, let's just call it $10 or 10 pennies or
jelly beans.
Jelly beans. There's 10 jelly beans for the first.
No illegal betting contests around here, folks.
Yeah. So you say it's 100 jelly beans for the first entry. If you get eliminated, you have the option to buy back again for another 100 jelly beans. If you get eliminated again, you can buy back for 500 jelly beans. And then if you get eliminated again, and that's it, you can buy in for 1,000 jelly beans. So it goes on. It goes, because people come back. So it goes on and on and on. But yeah, I mean, I've been eliminated. I've been eliminated a couple times already. Drake's Passage, that was the 15 horse and the last on Whitney Day, and the last that was 1-5 in a 6-horse field, who ran last, got me. I got by a first-time starter. I was trying to get cute. That was stupid. I got caught by a first-time starter, and that one snapped me. But it's someone picked Rodney today, who ran last. Who would have thought?
Not predictable.
2 people picked Looms Boldly, by the way.
To run out? Oh well, no. There was speed.
No. 2 they picked
in the good way. In the good way, right?
Good way. Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting because it could have gone. I mean, on paper, that race, any excuse to talk about that race, on paper there was a lot of speed, and I was a little concerned about, because he's not a outside draw is favorable because that gives the jockey options. When you try to rate him, he resents it and he doesn't run. So he is a go. So I didn't like being the third of the speed, but then he's just gotten so good. He just outbroke them. The race was over. Somebody texted me, and I apologize for not remembering who said this, but said basically the race was over 2 strides out of the gate. And I think that was kind of true, just given, the kind of horse he is. So that's good that we had some. I can't believe
you weren't there. You Maggie was 1,000% expecting you to be in there for a post-race interview.
That would have been amazing. I had a prior commitment, unfortunately. I could not get there. And it gets funnier than that because of the accelerated post times. Didn't even watch live. I'm not joking. This is a ridiculous story. I will tell you this story. And it ties everything together, actually. So I have been doing yoga up here like for 15 years. And my favorite teacher has been, and this is like not just my favorite teacher in Saratoga. This is like a truly world-class yoga teacher, having practiced, all over London and New York City and Brooklyn. And Beth Mouser is as good as any teacher I've ever had. And she also has a sideline she does real estate. And, so, because yoga teaching is not exactly the way to, make the big bucks, I suppose. But anyway, so I was she and I have been missing each other. She's been traveling. I've been traveling. There was one slot on the calendar we were sure this year we could do. It was in this, we moved, we tried a billion things. We had this hour and, I saw the race was drawn and I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. We'll stop yoga in the middle. We'll watch the race. Perrin and I were doing the class together. It was like a semi-private. And we're going to stop and watch the race. And there you go. And funny enough, we went, the timer went off. We went to look and he was crossing the wire. The text had already started coming in. It was great. It's one of these things where it's exactly what it was supposed to be. I won't lie. Had the Gemmin 10 thing not just happened, I don't think I could have missed under any circumstances my first Saratoga winner. But this felt like the baller confident move in a way. We're winning races at Saratoga. It's coming all hat for me. I'm going to take the yoga class instead. But then the way it ties back in is Beth in her real estate life. I had forgotten to tell her this before the race. I was telling her the story of the horse and just be like, oh, these great friends of mine, Clay and Marshall, blah, blah, blah. And she actually is the one who helped Marshall find his house. So it's just such a weird. So then I was like, hey, we do have a connection. You do have a connection. You know this guy. Anyway, she was excited. Perrin was thrilled. Perrin was not there for Gemmin 10. So I think she had an ounce of regret to not be in her first, official Saratoga winners photo, but no, it worked out well. Though and I probably couldn't have gotten a cheap plug in to In the Money Media in that post-race interview with Maggie anyway, so I couldn't have.
Oh yeah, you could have. Maggie would have set you up because 100% would set you up because we just did the ad read. We did the ad read before the race. 100% she would have got you. You would have been in there dropping knowledge.
That's amazing. I know. And the next time Clay will be there and, he'll supersede me. It was a good opportunity, but no regrets.
Yeah, Marshall, no one was in there.
Yeah. They're not around. They're not around. There are other owners, obviously, who are in town. So that was great. It was actually great to see some of the other 10 strike team in there. But yeah, this has been nuts. I've lived to 100 and this won't happen again. Is that our weather system?
It's raining, Pete.
Yeah, it's raining.
Tomorrow's going to be interesting. I have.
What do you think's going to happen?
Don't tell Andy Serling, but I have not even looked at Friday for Talking Horses yet because I refuse to waste my mental energy on a bunch of turf races. I'm going to get up tomorrow morning and do it. I'm not going to do it. And I'm just not going to do it. What if I just don't? What if I just go on and don't do it at all?
And just fake it? Be like, yeah, I like to give hunch plays. Pull a Tommy Massis, say, oh, my friend, Nick picked this horse. PTF really liked this horse. And you did it a little. We did a podcast, for goodness sake. People are aware.
He would flip out. Yeah, no, I looked at that, but I haven't looked at I looked at the late races. I have not looked at anything early, at all. But yeah. Of course, I did the ones that we did for the show, but I haven't looked at the early stuff. So
that's very funny. But are you suggesting that the rain might pass through and they might actually be on the turf?
Oh no, there's a 0% chance that we are going to be on the grass.
Gotcha. Okay, so you're good.
They took us off today. Basically, it wasn't supposed to rain today.
I know.
Right? And then it basically rained the entire time I was on the show, a lot. I'm surprised. I was thinking they were going to – I thought I was so nervous they were going to do – I love Naira. They were going to do that annoying thing they did last year where right before the start of the pick 5, they were going to cancel with 4 minutes to go. And
they'll never do that. They won't make that mistake again.
Yeah, with bad – so they didn't. They got the other 2 turf races in. Then after the pick 5 was over, before the pick 6, they took everything off the grass. But then it, based on the Apple app, it's going to rain. It's going to rain almost a third of an inch today. Oh. And then tomorrow, throughout the entire day, we're supposed to get 1.8 inches.
Is there a chance they cancel entirely? I
hate to risk. I hate to play that game.
Yeah. It's bad. I just looking though. It's bad.
Right. Yeah. And the weather's supposed to be nice on Saturday. But the problem is we're going to get banged up so badly today and tonight, and tonight and tomorrow that's what the question is with the races on Saturday.
My thought would be if you lose it. Now it's a Saturday and it's bad to lose, but let's look at this 10-day. Is there a way you could just do like what Colonial did and reschedule the whole thing for Monday?
We're not gonna lose. Yeah,
Monday's going to be beautiful.
Well, there's going to be beautiful on Saturday.
Yeah, it's going to be beautiful on Saturday. That's not going to be a problem.
So
It's
the
going to
dirt
be
racing's not going to be a problem. The problem is you're going to lose. You're going to lose Cogburn. You'll be fine on Sunday with the other 2 stakes, the grade ones. You're going to lose Cogburn, I would think. I don't know that for sure. I'm just saying I would think. Yeah, it's a tricky situation. I'm sure they'll navigate it the right way.
I just think moving Saturday and Sunday, I think are what they are. But if you moved Friday, maybe it's already too late to do this. But my half-assed idea would be to move Friday to Monday.
Whoa, take it easy. I'm going to the city.
Yeah. So you hate that? You think that would be a disgrace?
No, I don't hate it. I don't. No, I mean, whatever.
Your city trip.
No, whatever they got to do to do it, I'm down with it. So that's fine.
All right, this is good. We got a lot of people watching. I think there might be a little knock on Naira ad effect here. We've got more people watching than usual for this period of the show. We have great turnout in the event. These are all good things. Are they out on they must be out on the track by now, JK? Yeah.
I wasn't double screening because I'm not involved. The Survivor game is over. Let's see.
You don't want to give the people a winner. Your quick capping has been as good as most people's, full capping on these shows. You gotta help a brother out here.
What is it? What is it, the 9th? The 9th. 2 minutes to go. Let's go. Oh, let's find something here.
Why hasn't Del Mar? Oh, I must just need to refresh. This
right.
Producing oneself, always a thrill. Yeah, there we go. So I can read some names while you take a quick look.
Did you see America win?
No.
They were jammed up. They were down like 13, and they came back and won. Steph Curry had like 36.
Who is it against today?
Serbia in the Joker.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome. No, that's very good. Very good. Yeah. Lawrence Calden in first place. It's going to be at a bajillion way tie, but I'll read all the people who have 13, which is basically runner. Lawrence Calden, Mike Gillum, Chris Couples. Good to see Chris in there. Matt Miller, Greg Kingma, former winner of the whole thing of Horse Players Happy Hour. Pleasure of hanging out with him in Del Mar recently. Carl Barth, Jeff Van Dree, another who's had great success in our tournaments. Can't remember if he won the tour or won the tournament, the playoffs, but one or the other. He's also won a BCBCC before. Michael Oldham, Kevin Lux. Ooh, this is interesting. Jackson Muniz using the cheeky technique. He's trying to really boost his tour position. He played every single number the same on both his entries. So he's gone runner so far. Arthur Winter and Gary Vogt to round it out. Still haven't figured out if Tony Schiavone is Tony Schiavone from that other world, but of professional wrestling. We got to find that out at some point. I doubt it is. But all right, have you done knowing you've probably had enough time to quick cap here. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to give you the 5 because I thought to here's why I didn't want to give you the 5. Because I looked at the race, I said, who's the favorite? The 5. I looked at the 5, I said, why is the 5 the favorite? And then I said, that's silly. And then I stared long enough and I said, yeah, he'll probably win. But because it took me so long to get there, I don't feel like, the 7's not interesting. The fact that Christoph and them stay in here.
Yeah, that's very interesting. It's not breeding I would have necessarily pegged for dirt, but he's just so good at making those types of decisions. What about the 8 with a little bit of speed and Carmouche? Interesting that they try again after a seemingly not very good off the turf race last time. Like, what's that about? Did something strange happen during the race? Was it just that wide trip? I think it's interesting. That horse will be a lot closer today looking at the pace map than last time.
I'm always rooting for the Kenner Mossies.
Exactly. Your boy. You got your this is Horse Players Happy Hour. You can tell that.
Yes, I can tell the story. So I'm pulling out of the parking lot the other day, and
full screen on this.
Yes, I'm pulling out of the parking lot the other day at Saratoga, and we're like in that front parking lot, like where the jockeys park. So I go to pull out, and this guy, I'm telling you, I almost had like a 16th of a mile from where he was and where I was, and I pulled out, and he honked his horn at me. So I just pulled over and parked and got out of the car and was like, "Hey man," I wasn't like yelling or anything. I was like, "What's the problem?" You had more than enough time. What is it like just to kind of like make eye? Like I was like, what do you? And one of the Cantermossi brothers like ran over. Like I was getting into an altercation and was like, it was coming to like have my back. So.
JK, you okay? Wasn't that the line? This is your wingman for life.
I'm a Cantermossi guy for life. Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, have they popped here yet? They have popped.
Yeah, they're running.
It looks like
Mr. Big Bucks.
Yeah, looks like the one gets the job done there. I did not see who was second. Did you catch it?
I don't know. Not yet. The rail's not done.
You're not even done yet?
The rail's not done. Am I behind you?
Yeah, you must be. I just saw
I'm on my phone.
I just saw the one hit the line.
Yeah, you're right. I would never have had that horse, I don't think. Let's see.
It looks like she was going to be a bit far back. I love a Dave Dog, Fancy Pants Julia. She won this is her second win at the meet. Right. She did win on turf, but I mean the distance was the surface was a real question mark for her.
Yeah.
But that was
I love a Dave Donk sighting.
There you go.
He won the first today too. You were at yoga, you missed it. He won the first today too.
No exotic bets, just fire on Looms Boldly and just tune in and collect the money. 5 wins for Looms Boldly, JK. Can you believe that? You know what I didn't realize about the New York bred stakes? I didn't think they counted against your regular allowance condition, but in NYRA they do for some, to me, strange reason. You'd think they'd want all the horses they could get for the N2X, but he's now excluded. That counts as his second win, even though it was a state bred race because it was a stake. Isn't that a little weird? A little wacky?
Well, no, because
if the par figure was like a 105 and he would just embarrass and drown N2Xs, I get doing it, but he'd fit very well. Watch when that next N2X comes up. They're going to be horses that run 95s, 99s. He'd fit in there.
Yeah, I hear you.
I mean, I'm not like, oh, how can they do this to me upset? But it's just, I thought it was just from a strategic point of view, I thought it would make sense to let those horses run.
Interesting side note, Pete, as we see Irad get the win right there. I don't know if you've seen it on the show. We've talked about it a few times. He's got days 14, 15, and 16. So the race between him and Flavian, and honestly, at this point, I guess you got to say Tyler, right? Tyler's not too far behind. He's got 20. I don't know if he won one since I got off of air, but it, the problem is, I think for Irad is that the days he's gone, Flavian's going to pick up some of his stuff he's not on.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a big swing.
Off. Yeah.
It's going to be a big swing.
Really interesting. Yeah, that is a great point. Where's your money on leading rider?
Well, I mean, Irad's still a big favorite. I'm just hopeful that they stay tight. I want it to be a fight to the wire. I mean, I think the Saratoga is so much more interesting when that's part of the storyline.
Totally.
It makes that 16 claimer or the 25 claimer matter a little bit more.
Exactly.
I mean, I think Irad's still going to probably win.
What price do you need to want to bet Flavian there? 2s? Higher?
I'm horrible at this game.
Well, just what feels right.
Yeah. I mean, I would think Irad's still odds on, obviously, with the lead too. Yeah, probably. Yeah, I would probably want 5-2 on Flavian moving from this point. But he's riding for a lot of operations that you wouldn't think he'd be riding for. Like we joked about the other day, riding for like Linda and Rudy and if he's riding for people like that, he's gonna keep himself in the mix.
No doubt about it. He's won 2 today. Is that what you were aware of, or did he get another one since you were?
Tyler or Irad?
Tyler has won 2 today.
What was trying to think which one's well? I know you won with Aspen Grove. Who was the second one?
Rob has it in the comments. So Rob, if you know, who was the other one besides Aspen Grove?
Because I want to just don't know what race it was. So if he's at 20 or 21.
The other thing this week that was crazy fun was getting to be there to do the trophy presentation for that race named for my friend Dom Costanzo yesterday. Tyler won that race and was very gracious after, very nice with the family, and posed for a nice
80 West.
There it
That was
goes.
funny. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that was it was fun, and then it was fun to see him winning 3 on the day. He's in very good form. Will he get the opportunities the other two will from here on out to make it a real 3-way vie? I'd love to see it, but I'm not sure.
But that's, to me, I think that's what makes it so impressive. To your point, is that he's doing what he's doing, and he leaves New York for like half the year. He's gone. He's in New York. I'm sorry, he's in Kentucky or he's in Florida, and to have the success he's having as a non-New York based rider, it's pretty impressive.
It's impressive. Who has his book again?
Matt Musiker.
Oh, it was great. I mean, Matt Musiker's, Mike Smith back in the day, and Castellano during the first golden age, I think. And I don't remember it all, but he is he's obviously a skilled guy to have in your corner. So note as any of those top guys are going to have. But yeah, that's fun. That's very fun to see, and a good storyline. Okay, Del Mar. Actually, wait, we can probably do a leaderboard before we get to Del Mar. Let's see what's happening over here. Yeah, it's confusing. It's confusing me with the races being out of order, but I think we've got it. Now, what happened? I got to figure out for sure how to pronounce the man in 4th and 5th name. I think it's Letexier. He won a BCBC seat last weekend, but Carl Barth has vaulted into first place. Mark Henderson, Trish Smith, a regular in our comments. Matt Letexier double-barreled. He is changed up in this next race and then run a runner to close things out. Mark Winland, David Nielsen, Greg Kingma ×2 now. How is that possible? Or did I just miss him before? He had one difference. So the one now brings him up. It's just a weird statistical anomaly that with different picks, he has the exact same total of 30-10. Stephen McNatton also there with that. Julie LeBoyko, double-handed in with the 30-10 as well, and then rounded out by our first ever HorsePlayers Happy Hour Tour champion, David Browning. Great to see so many familiar names. We love the support from these folks. Good to see Albion Benton on there, who made a nice run recently at that Hawthorne tournament and won a day one prize years ago at a tournament with the letters. We had a lot of fun talking to him, but a very hardworking and sharp guy. Really made his style is really good for mythical contests because he does a lot of work, but he's a very creative handicapper. All right, Chris Couples has a Del Mar thought for us. He's like our he and Rob are like our other co-hosts today, which we love. And if you're new out there watching, get involved in the comments. This is the fun stuff. Weighted exacta 6/1, 7. 7 is the horse that has a shot to beat the favorite. If you want to go deeper in a try, 6 with 1-7 with 1-3 for 7 and with a backup 7 on top. Looks like a good vertical strategy from Chris here.
I prefer the 1.
You like the 1 as opposed to the 6?
Yeah. Just a Michael McCarthy situation, gets the horse back. I mean, McCarthy almost, he ran, back when he was with him the first time around, ran extremely well, 2 seconds, and then kind of fell off of form. Now back in his care, you get Rispoli down on the inside. I found that at Del Mar, if you get a good rider and a good horse on the rail, on the grass, they end up working out great trips down there. Just watch the 1. If the 1 gets beat, in my opinion, it won't be because of the trip.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Betting market going a little crazy for I'm a Joker, who has, this is one of these runners who's kind of had her chances as far as I'm concerned, though I don't get carried away with that when they're racing at a new low level, and that's what she's doing. And the other thing I like about her, I'm a Joker, on the drop here, she'll be positioned more closely. So I do like the idea of her as an exacta use, if nothing else. But JK's Den of Inequity on the trainer and jockey angle makes a lot of sense as well, as they're a minute to post at Del Mar. We'll see how that plays out in a second. Let us know if you are in the comments and you have a thought as JK pops another IPA. What do you have going on tonight? I am going down to Albany with Doogie to check out the new Cafe Italia place.
Wow.
They've reopened at their new location, and it took us some negotiating, let's say, to get a reservation, but we finally got it worked out.
Well, I'm at, as everyone knows, we're staying at Salivo East with my in-laws. So it's always a lot going on. I think Big Ron's doing some porterhouses
Oh,
with some mushrooms and some what's he got going on up there? It's had a fried cauliflower as an appetizer on the way down.
nice.
And then tomorrow we're doing seafood salad and clam sauce.
Beautiful.
You know what I'm saying? It's
killing it there. We did my official birthday dinner out in Saratoga at Salivo last night. Top form.
What'd you get?
We had a lovely table outside, sunny, but it was a good night for it to be sunny, because it was beautiful weather. We started with the shrimp cocktail and the meatballs. I've had all the famous meatballs around town, at various points this meet. I give Salivo number one. I just think the flavor of the meat, the texture, Perrin agreed. She said others are good. Salivo ones are the best, unsolicited. So that was cool. And then they had a halibut special where I had it was Fradiavolo, and I had to sub out. I just had to sub out. It was supposed to be a mixture of clam and shrimps, but for me, Mr. Non-bivalve guy, I had to go double shrimp. So really, I ate a lot of shrimp. And then we did the tiramisu, which was great. But the winner dessert for me was actually the key lime pie, showing very, very well.
Someone else I was at dinner with the other night flipped out about the key lime pie.
It was super. The homemade graham cracker crust. I don't know who's doing that, but I'm assuming
Emily, a young lady named Emily, is handling a lot of the pastries. Yeah.
Super duper. Ronnie, Ronnie Jr. as always does a great job in the kitchen, and Joey was gregarious in the front of the house. Very, very. It was a fun night all around. Thanks to those guys for hooking us up. It was nice, because I had my mom in after we did the race. Dom was my mom's partner who passed away last year, so it was just it was such a good tribute to him and having his whole family there. It was such good vibes, and what a way to close out a good vibe night. And then it was nice enough. We came back here to the little house on the east side, and the weather was actually nice enough to make a fire for the first time all meet. So we had a fire. We played some tunes. I was done drinking at that point, but we were just all chilling out, telling stories. My mom, my Aunt Barbara, Susan and Perrin, Loli. It was a great, great crew. We are off for race 2 at Del Mar. And there's a slam dunk horse. I think it is number 3 out on the lead. Looks to be going well within, these are fillies, right? Herself.
Yep.
The favorite is getting a trip that is not always easy at Del Mar. Interestingly, your one runner with Rispoli is not wanting that one to get away and pulling out a little bit early. But we've got a 3-wide no cover trip from that big favorite. Making the way to the lead now may just be good enough to pull off this trip. But I'm curious to see if one of these others in the firing line in behind can come. The bird may have flown, though, as she's now powering off to the lead. Rispoli's getting going on this one runner, but I think just has too much to do. I think this one's going to come 6-1 unless this gray horse on the inside powers back, which, it's noses on the line, 1 and 4 for second, 6 runs out, an easy winner in that second race at Del Mar. We'll have to wait for this photo and see. Did you have an opinion on the photo?
Oh, yeah, definitely the one, in my opinion.
Okay, it was the one held. Okay, great. It looked to me like the bob went the other way. That's why I hesitated to call it.
I flipped back to Saratoga, and it's still raining.
It's bad. It's bad. I was concerned about Doogie. I don't know where he goes during the rain. I told him to come over and
tucks in. He just tucks in.
I told him come on and co-host the show with me. He surprisingly he didn't want to do that.
He tucks in or goes home, one of the two.
Nice one. Chris gets that, and he had the denominations right where he should be okay even with the chalk. Love that. We've got Superman who's leaving us. Don't leave us. Just stick around. You don't necessarily have to. If you hit your loss limit, doesn't mean you have to stop watching. You start grinding on those trip notes and get ready for the horses the next time. That's what I say. Oh, that's interesting. Rob mentions the lasagna at Salivo. He's going to be going there with his wife this weekend. Perrin got the lasagna. It was bigger than her head.
Big.
But absolutely delicious. But yeah, we have that.
If you live up here, a move is to get, if you ever want to like do dinner somewhere else, is to pick that up catered, like to get a lasagna, an entire lasagna catered.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah.
And then
you get a full like half tray of lasagna, and you're
I didn't realize they did. Is it like, do they have a catering department, or do you just order it to
No,
go?
they probably, in fairness, they probably don't. That's like a big order. Like Ronnie's probably not going to do a catering order in the summer.
Right.
Like holidays and stuff like that. I've helped carry stuff to the car before, so I know it's real.
Here you go. You weren't back there in the kitchen. I don't think Ronnie would like that very much.
No, I don't. I mean, I've been back there, but no, I steer clear. I got no skills there.
You've resisted the urge to do a stage at Salivo, bolster your resume in case your life go in a different direction shot. At some point.
No shot.
Amazing. That's a good idea though. Speaking of lasagna, wise guy moves. I also am a huge fan of the Pinnell's lasagna, but it's too big for any man to eat. So the wise guy move there, and I think this is a Matisse. I might have picked this up from the Matisses. You get it as an appetizer, and you carve it into like one lasagna. You carve into like 8, and it's absolutely perfect. I have a photo to share with you, JK. Let's see if I have the right one here, and let's see if I can produce myself and do this. But this will be very funny if I can pull it off. Let's see. Is it the right? Yeah. This is awesome. All right, now I just have to get it up. I forget. I think I can just drag a photo into the toolbar here and share it with y'all. But let's see if we can do that, and then we'll be pretty soon. We're going to be due for another. Leaderboard update. But I want to show you me watching Looms Boldly today. It's amusing, in my opinion. Anyway, you tell me what you think. Yeah, there it is. There's the yoga mat, the yoga clothes. We've got the phone out. I wish the picture was oriented a little bit better. Can I? That makes it a little bit better. Yeah, you can see the giant smile on the face. That's the key element of that one. Oh, that's great. We'll have to tweet that one out later. Thanks to Beth for sending that along. Yoga Mandali. The whole studio is great. It's not. I mean, Beth is a great teacher, but if you're a yoga person, get up to Yoga Mandali. It's special. I'm surprised you don't do the yoga. Some of the body things you have, it would help you so much.
Yeah, no, I'm not mad at it. I just, I'm not mad at it, to be fair, but I just haven't ever really gotten fully into it.
The times that I've done physical therapy, it's like physical therapy is basically like a boring version of yoga, where you're doing the moves like more by rote or whatever. But so many of the things you do are the same. And so it's basically a way to get, if you don't have and the problem these days with physical therapy is like the insurance companies are just so annoying about it. Like I had my most recent injury, that one that made me feel like I was 1,000 years old, the heel spur. That was, and you made fun of me on air about it, which I really appreciated. But it was so when it was causing me trouble walking, they were happy to pay for it. But then when I was like, no, I want to keep going because I'm not back running yet, they were like, oh no, that's your problem. That sounds like a you problem, Pete. They told me. So, but I mean, it's like, if you can't, I think it's ridiculous. It's like I'd be so much healthier if I could get to that point. It would avoid the insurance company paying for other things later. Anyway, I think it's stupid. That's my rant about health insurance on today's HorsePlayers Happy Hour. You can't get analysis like this just anywhere, people. But yoga fills the gaps. It's wonderful, and that's a great place to go. We've sold some Big Z.
Fornatel Kinshin 2024.
Can you imagine? We could solve a lot of this country's problems if we're being honest with ourselves. I think we do what we can. I want to put in a plug. I'm losing track of races already. I want to put in a plug for the Contest Jockey Show. I'm going to bet you haven't even had a chance to watch it yet, though you were kind enough to send it around. Have you had a chance to check it out?
I haven't got a chance to watch the final product, but talk about it.
Trish gets it. Preventative care. That's it exactly. It's so fun. So it is almost literally the poor man's version of the World Horse Players Tour. We were like, what could we do that's sustainable, that can bring the idea of a poker style tournament to horse racing? And I mean, I think it's really fun. I think to get the real magic, you probably have to do a lot of them, but we had dramatic moments. You know, we have it where we've got the people watching the race. With StreamYard, you can locally record 10 people, I think. So it's very easy to have 8 people watching the race, and you can sort of see them. We cut to what I think were the most interesting parts of the contest. We get to meet the players. It's a fun group. We had 2 champions. Marshall Graham joined us, as did Justin Mustari. And then we brought in a lot of young up-and-comers, people interested in getting more into contests, just to, you know, demonstrate to the wider world that horse players in 2024 don't necessarily look like horse players in 1974. Like there's more interesting characters and diversity, I think, sometimes than we're given credit for. And we wanted to feature that and just have some interesting, fun people on there. So watch, check it out, root for your favorite, and you'll get to see who wins. It played out. There was some tremendous horseplay in there, and it was really fun, Jonathan, getting to do the commentary again with you. I really, really hope that we get to do it again. Mike Saletta, who's been a regular for us, appreciated it. That's great. Rob Capalbo too, and the numbers are good. I didn't even tell you this, Jonathan, because we were so busy and we were dealing with 18 different problems last week. Which let's just say this, many of them, the less said about them, the better. But one problem was, part of it was we released the show at the wrong time. The other problem was we didn't have a thumbnail that connected it to our other content. It looked like something totally different, which is a big Mr. Beast no-no. Because, of course, you and I now have watched a lot of Mr. Beast advice videos on YouTube. And God bless the man for doing that. You know, he doesn't have to spend his time doing that, helping other creators. And it's really freaking cool that he does. But anyway, when it released for the first time, I'm not joking when I tell you, I think it was in the first 2 hours, it had 6 views. Then I discovered a typo. I didn't discover it. Somebody pointed out to me a typo. And so we ripped the thing down and said, let's try this again. And then obviously we fixed the typo. And then you had made the observation, don't release this on a Friday. It's going to get lost with all the other content. People are looking to bet. I didn't listen first time around, in part just because it's supposed to be an ad for the Fourstardave Challenge, which is happening on Saturday. I wanted to give them the extra play, our partners at Naira/Naira Bets on that. And then, and I'll plug the partner ADW in a second. Don't worry. But yeah, we had 100 in the first hour. Nothing crazy, but 100 in the first hour, and it's trucking along. So it's something different, something fun. Hope everybody checks it out. Now, speaking of things that need plugging, yes, it is the Fourstardave contest Saturday, but the one we really want you to be paying attention to, that you got to really consider about getting involved in, is the LRF Cares contest, because this one costs $600, low for live bankroll. A portion of the proceeds is going to charity. Del Mar, so it's going to be 72 and sunny. You don't have to deal with any of this other mishigas. And fabulous prizes, including Breeders' Cup seat, BCBC seat will be on the line directly in there. We did run a qualifier for that one over at Contest Jockey, so we've got a rooting interest there. There's also seats to some other tournaments, one of which we won't name at this exact moment, another one of which is the Pacific Classic Challenge. Anyway, it was it's a great opportunity to get involved. And, if you're somebody who wants to play in the Breeders' Cup Betting Challenge, playing at the $600 level, it's a great way to create muscle memory in the sense that, you make your plays, you play strategically. And then when it comes to the bigger live bankroll contest, you kind of have to add a zero, but still just having the experience of doing it in a format like this, I just think it's a tremendous opportunity. Have you played in one of these LRF Cares contests before?
I have at some point. It's always a little tricky with just, being on air, being on set. Trust me, I've played in big contests on set before, but it's challenging, hoping that the commercial break comes at the right time. It's a lot.
No, especially the way you play. You're having to do calculations for dutching things and whatnot. But this one, because it's Del Mar races, especially if you're on early, you might be able to make some magic happen. It's a great opportunity. They've been great partners. Breeders' Cup Betting Challenge seat on the line. You can play on site at Del Mar, or you can play online through the official Breeders' Cup betting partner, TVG. Go to tvg.com. On TVG, you probably have to sign up the day before. I think we said noon the day before. So don't delay. Sign up today. Are they drawn yet for Sunday at Del Mar? We're so spoiled by these Saratoga draws. I'm now losing track of what other places are doing.
I would think they drew today.
Okay, good. So hopefully the PPs are up there. You can take a look. We're going to do special unplanned coverage of it. So funny. I almost reflexively just popped up the Naira feed. Good thing I didn't. But that race is about a minute to post. Did you have a look at this one, or do you want to give us a quick cap selection here in race number 10?
I mean, it's tricky because they pulled the MTOs early in the day, and then they came off. So all the MTOs are out. They're all turf horses, and they're all slow early. The 4 was the one who I thought would be the closest. So if you had to hold my feet to the fire, that's where I would land, the 4.
I like that idea. Sometimes in these spots, you can make kind of a rider play if you've got somebody you think you can count on to be aggressive. I'll take a quick look through and see about that. And then, of course, also pedigree is another way to go. What about the 3 Turf Rocket? That's a horse on pedigree should handle. And will Alvarado be aggressive enough in this spot? I don't know, but that was the first horse I saw that made me think, this one could be maybe a little bit sneaky.
Except the fact that his name is Turf Rocket.
The irony would be rich, wouldn't it? If Turf Rocket.
He's a more than ready Canteros mare.
Should be okay.
He himself has never stepped foot. Yeah, I mean, I don't hate it. This is a guess to me. This a race like this situation, it's unfortunate. If the MTOs would have been in here, my boys, the Cantor Mossies, Tom Amos, Slam Dunk somewhere, Safi, they were all alive. So
I really think that it's just one of these weird things where the weather blew in so much earlier. You did note, though, on the show we did this morning, about 3 hours before the rain came, when I was talking about how beautiful it was. Do you think I keep my reputation as a weather jinx based on that?
No doubt. It's all your fault.
Chris likes Ninja Barrio, but not thrilled with the 3-2. Doesn't matter for the contest, though. Locked in there. Let me know, JK, if you can hear that water running and if that gets annoying or if we can just power through it. Maybe the noise canceling is handling it.
I actually hear it, so you just hit the light mute. You'll be all right.
Mute when I'm not talking, but I'm about to talk because they're about to pop from the gate in this one. And then we'll use your technique going forward. I thought about getting a hold screen for the actual races, but that seemed too lame. Ultimately, I might try legitimately calling these races. Today, I'm just going to talk through them here as they go from the gate, and which looks like it's going to happen this second. This is interesting. I like that they give you the head-on view coming out of the Wilson chute. The 3 didn't break the way that I was expecting or hoping, making this a little bit trickier for that runner. Looks like the 2 has asserted itself in the lead. This Cannon Fire, 10-1, one that would certainly shake things up. Turf Rocket, now in a decent spot, but in a spot where you're sure to catch a lot of kickback. So that's probably not going to be much fun. The 4 Sweet Duchess in a good spot, staying clean on the outside, as probably is the 9 Goats on a Tree. The 5 and the 8 are farther back. Who was it you liked in here?
Well, that's a strong word you're using there.
Yeah, who was your best guess?
The 4, the 4.
Well, the 9 is making a move coming up to the throat latch of the 4 Sweet Duchess. And we're trying to see here if the 3 might have a little bit of run in behind the Turf Rocket horse. We'll see if that one is trying to make a move on the turn here. The 2 weirdly hasn't been asked, but is making no progress and seems to be dropping back. And the other two are hopelessly out of it. The 3 swinging about 6 wide in the muddy stretch, looking for that tire track, maybe trying to close. The 9 has the head in front. The 4 is battling on gamely down at the rail. The 3 spinning wheels, and the 9's really asserted now. Goats on a tree with that nice trip on the sloppy racetrack looks to be the one who's going to get the job done. And it'll be interesting to see if the 3 can pass this 4. I don't think so. I think it's going to hold 9-4-3 in race number 10 at Saratoga. All right, let's get back to business here. We'll be able to, in short order, do another leaderboard update. We've got what? It'll just be 2 races back left from Del Mar. I know you've got a delicious sounding meal, a succulent Italian meal in tribute to our viral superstar who just passed away. We'll let you go whenever you're ready, JK. Any closing thoughts before we do that?
Well, yeah, I don't you. I dare you to come over here and hold these people hostage for dinner plans. It's a dangerous.
I wouldn't have advised if I'd known that was what was happening. I probably would have advised against it. But I'm glad you helped out because I can draft other folks. But it's always great having you, Jonathan Kinchin. You'll be back. People can catch you on America's Day at the Races, and we'll do something to recap this weekend. However it plays out, probably on Monday, Tuesday latest. Good to see you, brother. That is it for our man, and we will have some other guests joining us in these couple of races for Del Mar. Be on here live for another, it might be 35 minutes. So if you have questions, this would be a good time because to be honest with you, don't have much planned. The post time changes really threw off my running order of the show, but I'm not too worried about it. We can talk about these Del Mar races at some length. That could be a fun way to spend time on the shows here, and we'll get it done that way if we have to. Rob Capalbo is going to work, so we've lost one of our more active commenters, but that's okay, Rob. Have a great shift, and we'll see you when you're up here this weekend, as I've suddenly developed the hiccups. Not quite sure how that happens in the middle of a broadcast, but we'll roll with the punches and let it go. The other thing I could do is dig up some YouTube videos of the stuff that we did for this weekend. And looks like Frank might be ready. I just didn't send him a link, so let's do that. We'll invite Frank in, and then we'll chat with him for a minute, and then we'll go from there. And then if we need those videos, we'll do it. But yeah, it's great to have everybody here with us. Another big week on HorsePlayers Happy Hour. I'll do the reset and tell people who are new around here, which I know there are a few of you, what's so special about these games. $20 to play, 3 ways to win your Breeders' Cup Betting Challenge seat. One is what you might call the traditional way. This is just a regular $20 feeder into a $179 HorsePlayers qualifier for the BCBC, which runs on Saturday. You can also just buy your way into that directly, but why buy in when you can feed in by finishing in the top 10% of this contest? Then there's the interconnected tour aspect of this. And this is not a tour that makes you play every week to have a chance to participate in the prize pool. You could honestly participate in 1 week and potentially access one of the 2 $10,000 BCBC seats that we have on offer. How do those work? One, there's an overall tour. So you take the best 8 scores, and of those best 8 scores, the person who has the best 8 scores, I should say, has the opportunity to win a Breeders' Cup Betting Challenge seat. And then beyond that, you also have the ability to qualify with tour points for the playoffs. And the playoffs will have other top tour finishers, as well as everyone who finishes in the top 2 on a given week. So you only have to play 1 week to finish in the exacta, and then have a chance at that. Have a chance at that prize pool. And even for the overall tour, it's not crazy to suggest you could play like 4 weeks and be able to be the overall winner, because you have this technique, and we've seen it from some of our players, where you can play the same picks across different entries and potentially get 270. Is it 270? No, it's more than that. 190. Come on, Brain. Yeah, it's 270 tour points in 1 week, in theory, if you played the same numbers on all 3 entries and ended up running 1, 2, and 3. So, we designed this. We want to reward. It's not unlike contest jockey. And the idea is we want to reward the people who are the loyalists, but we also want something that somebody can come in as a new person, basically, and have an opportunity to get involved and even win. All right, we're getting some separation now. David Browning, former champion, season 1. It was actually technically season 2. We did a season. This is season 4, and we did a season 0 because during the pandemic we did this just because we were all going crazy in our houses, and there was no interconnected tournament. It was just me, Matt Bernier, and JK having a few drinks and betting races with you all. Shout out in the comments if you were here for season 0 back in 2020. Technically, that's season 1. Season 2, though, first real season, David Browning won the whole thing. David Nielsen and Stephen McNatton are tied with him, regular contributors. GT Nixon there as well. Wait a second. I'm reading from 6. This is what happens when I produce myself, people. I make mistakes. I'm starting with number 6. So we are going to go back to the other screen. We're going to roll up to the top, and we're going to do this correctly. Carl Barth in first with 51.50. Julie LeBoyko, 47.50. Mark Henderson, 44.40. Tommy Buchler, 42.50. Greg Kingma, who was won a BCBC seat with us before as well, in 5th, 41.30. David Browning, 36.30, as well as David Nielsen and Stephen McNatton. Then right behind them, GT Nixon, Trish Smith, active in our comments, really a player we all root for around here, 32.70. Terrence Frank in a tie for 11th with Matt Letexier. If someone knows if I'm saying that name right or wrong, let me know. $32 for them. Matt Miller, we know that guy, 30.50. Can't join us on air today, but happy to see him doing well on the leaderboard. David Piers, 30.40. Matt Letexier, entry 2, 30.10. Mark Winland, 30.10. Greg Kingma, entry 3, 30.10 with Julie LeBoyko again. So a lot of people using similar picks and making a little bit of noise up here on this Horse Players Happy Hour leaderboard. If you're new to us, know that we do this every Thursday. So make sure you get involved. Best way from a financial perspective to win a BCBC seat. Let's bring in our next guest once he turns towards the camera and lets me know that he is paying attention. There's a nice smile from Frank Scattoni. What's up, my brother?
Hey, I was just checking out the odds board there. The horse I liked, who I gave out in the frankly speaking column spot play, was bet in half. So I was just checking out the board.
Does that become a no bet, or are we still on side? And who are we talking about?
Yeah, I mean, for the contest, I wouldn't be interested at that price. I was talking about number 1, Sweet Hello. I know there's a lot of speed in this race, but I mean, unless you've been living under a rock, speed has been golden this meet. We just saw McLaren Vale in the first race. Granted, that horse had a huge class edge, but just ripped it open and set ridiculous fractions and just never stopped. So I was playing it tilted toward the 1, thinking Maldonado would break on top and never look back. But this is a very, very tough race with a lot of speed. On a fair track, I think the 3 horse wins the race. That horse is 4-1, but it's not a fair track.
Timeform US has Jubilant Joni well clear in here. Agree or disagree?
Yeah, I mean, coming out of stakes races, right? The thing about Jubilant Joni is whether or not you believe that last figure. I mean, it came in Louisiana Downs in a sprint race for Robertino Diodoro, right? We know he moves horses up drastically. So now this horse is out here, does get the leading rider, but, is trying 2 turns for the first time. So I don't know. Only 2-1. This horse was tabbed at 6-5 on the line. I think it's a little bit lobsterish.
Yeah. Oh, a lobster. There's a term I haven't heard in many a year. We're going to talk about that in a second.
I still don't know what it means, but I know how to use it.
We do have breaking news here. Saratoga has canceled, as we were speculating, for tomorrow. It's been pouring, and it's going to continue to pour. I don't know. I hope they do what I said and move it to Monday. I don't know if that's, they could just move the whole card. They have the facility to do that. What do you think the odds that Del Mar is going to cancel tomorrow, Frank?
Oh, man, I feel so bad for Saratoga. It's just, the weather, that's part of the reason I gravitated so much to Del Mar is because, look, there's so many variables in this game when you're handicapping. I don't need weather to be a variable. You know what I mean? Like, that's just too much for me. You do all the work, you do all the turf races, and then they take them off, and it's just very, very frustrating. Now, I know, granted, some players like that. They can handicap off tracks, and good for them. That was just never my strength. So I feel bad for you guys back east.
There are opportunities in those races for sure, but this is at this point they're just going to lose the track. I think. I mean, it's an insane amount of rain. So they have officially moved the Saturday stakes to Sunday. They had set that up by recarding them, so that's no shock. The outstanding question: what are they going to do? And I'm going to rely on our comment people here. Check Twitter, see if we can figure out what we can do, what we can expect. Are they just going to reschedule all of Friday for Monday, or are they going to punt it to next week, or are they just going to get rid of those races? That wouldn't make a lot of sense. Let me know if you know out there what's going on. Who's that?
This is Deuce Bruce, one of the best handicappers around. Buy his tip sheet when you come to Del Mar. This is a true story. You know Kim. Kim's the ultimate mush, my sister. She coming to the track for years, losing. Can I borrow $20? Can I borrow 50? I told her, buy Deuce Bruce. She started buying them, I swear to God, 2 years ago. She was here on Saturday. She won $940. I kid you not. You're
Deuce
the best.
Bruce, ladies and gentlemen.
You have a good day. All right.
That's awesome. That's
now
awesome.
Seriously, his tip sheet, they sell them $5 a pop. There's a couple of different tip sheets, but his
does a good job.
He does a great job, and he very rarely picks favorites. He's very clever. Him and his son, they do the work, and they offer wagering strategies too. They'll tell you how to bet the whole card.
What's the format? Is it a top three in every race? Is
it's a top three, sometimes top four, but they will tell you how to play the race. And then they will have a whole other section basically mapping out your wagering strategy for the day. I'm not getting paid to do this, by the way. I should be the front man for Deuce Bruce. I'm not. I just know that he's changed my sister's life.
I love it. No, that's great. And I love the fact it's sort of like in my family where Susan would rather listen to Serling than me. Your sister, has similar familial backstabbing tendencies.
Oh, for sure. She hasn't won a penny from me, but I told her, all right, you know what? I'm sick of hearing you complain. Go buy Deuce Bruce. Never looked back. Loyal follower.
Amazing. David.
Right, they're off here. I don't know if that matters or not.
Yeah, they don't have video.
I also gave 7 Councilwomen Jilly a shot just because of the speed angle. But let's see how this race unfolds here.
Yeah, let's see it. I've been sort of talking through the races. Let me get the. You're ahead of me. So you have 2 options. You can call it. You can half call the race, or you can hit mute while the race is on. Which one would you rather?
I'll just let you know what's going on since I'm a little ahead. The 6 made an easy lead, got hammered down to 3-5. So the money did show up on that horse. We'll see. My 1 horse is tracking nicely in second. Dramatizer with the blinkers on is a little closer to the pace today, which is very interesting because that horse usually likes to track from off. But he's in a good spot, but he's 3 wide. So that hasn't really been the winning trip so far. And then who's down at the rail? Can't see who's down at the rail, but that horse is traveling nicely. They're about to hit the top of the far turn there, Pete, and the 6 is in command, really in command.
It's going to be this horse is bird is blown.
Yeah. They're all basically chasing behind this horse.
3's making a little run, maybe for second.
Yeah, Dramatizer will grind, but I think this horse is long gone.
Have to stop to a walk to lose.
Yeah. And again, looks like 46 and 3.
I'm not sure the rules on having Trevor come through the call. I'll probably get a message from some industry power later.
That's my fault. Then if I have to mute, I'll mute. But I thought it was interesting.
I was making a joke. Was the 9 at the Wood getting up late for second?
I didn't see. I turned away. It just that horse just destroyed them.
Yeah, the money showed, and the money was right, and Time Form and the computer guys were on the same horse. Yeah, I think it was the 9 come second. I was completely joking about that. I'm sure we're absolutely fine as far as that goes. If not, I'll hear about it. So we do know that.
That'll be my fault. And if we have to mute the races
I'll throw
going
you
forward,
right
we will.
Don't worry about it.
I'm gonna have to start working on my race calling. Then I'm gonna have to really hone my skills.
I was saying at the beginning of the show that this could be an excuse for me to
just add another trifecta.
You guys got a free one today. How about that? I'm sorry. What were you saying, Pete?
Oh, Frank.
I lost my train of thought. What was I saying?
We were talking about. I said I'd have to call the races.
Oh, right. I was saying it could be a fun opportunity to actually try to do that I mean, it's not legitimate to call it off a screen, but
Pete, I wouldn't even attempt it. When I was younger, I said, you know what? Let me just. How hard can this be? Let me just take a look and see if I could do it. No way. I mean, what these guys do is absolutely incredible.
It's amazing. I think if I worked at it really, really, really hard, maybe I could do it. I'm not a favorite to be able to do it, but I think it would be within my skill set potentially, and this could give me a very, very low pressure way for me to experiment with that.
I'll default to you on that because I'm telling you, I would do a horrible job. I thought Dramatizer was tracking 3 right. He was the one actually inside. So I'm the wrong guy. I'm the wrong guy when it comes to that. But I will tell you a funny little story. Everybody knows Matt Dinnerman, calls from Monmouth now, calls for Oaklawn, was doing Golden Gate.
Saw him yesterday.
You did?
He did a day trip to Saratoga and ran into him, and he was very nice. He met, we had the tribute race for my friend Dom Costanzo yesterday.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know that. Okay.
Yes, we had my mom and aunt here, and
nice.
It's great. It's always nice when you can, we run into people, and it's nice when they, he's an industry guy, and he wants to create fans, so he takes an extra minute to give people a little nice moment. I mean, I'm a big Dinnerman fan in every way, shape, and form, not least because he is in a select group of people who have given out 50-to-1 winners on the In the Money Players podcast.
Is that right?
Yeah, his was a Golden Gate race back when we were doing those. Well, back when the Stronach 5 existed. He did that for us. It was very, very exciting. But anyway, it was great to see him. Sorry, I took you off.
No, that's I love Matt. I was going to just tell a quick little story. Years ago, he used to be working as an intern up in the press box.
I remember.
And before that, he was actually he worked for Sadler. He was on the backstretch. So I mean, the kid's been around the racetrack and he knows his stuff. So he did the internship for a while. And back in the day, Del Mar used to have the Pacific Classic draw party at Rancho Valencia. It was a really, really nice venue. So I'm there one night for the party with Quigley, and Matt's there, and he's walking around, and Tom goes, "Did Matt play you his race call practicing?" I go, "No, what are you talking about?" "Go ask him." All right, so I go, and he had a little tape recorder with him, and he played me. He would go up to the roof and he'd practice every day here at Del Mar and probably at home. And he played it for me, and I was like, "Oh my God, this is so amazing and so professional." And me and Quigley both like that. And then next thing you know, he ends up becoming a professional race caller. But we heard him back in the day when he was using a little
I heard him too. I was there for one of those days. In my memory, it was a Santa Anita day, but maybe it was a Del Mar day. Maybe I just, conflated that. But, he was a teenager at the time, right?
He was a Chapman College playing baseball, So he's still young. I mean, what he's done in the short amount of time has been remarkable. And I know he loves the game. I know his dad loves the game. His dad's out here all the time.
I met him opening weekend. I met his father opening weekend.
So they're just a good family. He's a good kid, and it's nice to see that kind of success. When you see them start at a young age and see their development. But Matt's been meteoric. I mean, what he's done is absolutely remarkable.
No, it's impressive, and it'll be fun to see where he goes. And we've got some great voices on the younger side of the. I mean, hey, I'm old enough. I still think Travis is young too. So when I see these guys that I knew as teenagers, I mean, when you know them as teenagers,
I know
they always are going to seem a little bit younger than they actually are. Love the success that they've had.
Travis, I remember he used to write for the Horseplayer magazine, and I thought he was a baby, so he's still young. But talk about a terrific race caller, my goodness. I mean, he is phenomenal. I love Frank Miramati out there in Saratoga and Santini.
He's our age, though. He doesn't count for
No, he doesn't count, but I was just getting on the topic of race callers. I just love that Frank sees things right before they're about to happen. And if he calls your horse with confidence, or if he says your horse is toiling, it's lock it. That's it. It's gospel. So, and then of course we're lucky to have Trevor out here, who's just so amazing.
Oh, an absolute legend of the game. But yeah, it's great to see a lot of these. I think especially, Matt's an example of this. Jason Beam's an example of this.
Yeah, he's good.
But they also they take the role to another level where they really get into the ambassadorial stuff. I don't know if you saw Jason Beam's promo video for Colonial Downs.
I didn't.
Brilliant. I mean, it's just the guy he's brilliant.
I was talking to
hiring him,
Phil Bongiovanni. He owned a bunch of horses out here.
Of course, the Breeders' Cup winner, Juvenile Fillies, a bunch of years ago with a cheeky name.
I forgot he had a piece of that horse. I forget who it was.
Yeah, I'm going to look that up.
It'll come to us. Yeah, well, so he's since moved back east, but he was out here the other day with his family, and they just had him and his son, actually, Nick, who we call the racing manager, because he's been doing this since he's a baby, and he's a pretty sharp kid. But anyway, they had a horse win at Colonial, and he was telling me he went to Colonial. It was just an amazing experience. And he said he let Jason Beam know that he was coming. Beam took time, came down, met the family, talked, hung out, brought him up to the booth, the whole 9 yards, and that's what that sport needs. That needs that kind of outreach, where we can make the young stars of our sport, not the jockeys and horses, but on the other side, make them accessible to the people.
It's a great point. Champagne room.
That's it. That's it. Great. Yeah. Was it Peter Urton?
I think it was her. Let's double check that. And then he was also the other famous story, which I will not. I've said too much already, but he was a defender of good etiquette in the Logan Suite at some point. Remember that story?
Absolutely. Yes. The way you should behave a certain way.
For a second, I thought the Masked Avengers might be called into action. That's Pete and Frank's music. But he took care of it. We didn't have to.
He did. We had many good times in the Logan room, and it was really nice to see him and his son Nick, who's all grown up. He's working now.
I met him at Keeneland. I met him at Keeneland at one point. He is in the industry, right? I mean, he
definitely helps his dad. That's why we call him racing manager. They bought a horse. It's not Ascendancy. I can't remember the name, but they bought a horse in horses. What is it called when they're already racing?
Training age sale, or
something like that. It was
they had that big training age sale at the end of Keeneland. Was it in that sale?
Yeah, it must have been. But anyway, they bought a horse that Doug O'Neill used to have, and they've had pretty good success with it. And Nick picked out the horse. And I said, okay, well, Nick's got some he's got some cushion there. He goes, yeah, he'll tell you about that horse, but he won't tell you about all the ones that didn't make it that he picked out.
That reminds me, and and I say this lovingly, and I know there are some people in this game who have thin skin. I hope none of them are listening. But jokes about there are some funny bloodstock agent jokes. Among them, like, what are the qualifications to be a bloodstock agent? You need a baseball cap, a catalog, and a puffy vest. And then the other one, what makes a successful bloodstock agent? You guessed right twice. And we say this with love. I mean, I think the ones that we're friends with and are our regulars on the network,
of course,
and laugh. And it's obviously a joke. It's an incredibly hard job, and there's so much skill involved, obviously. But it is sort of a weird little subsection of the world. And that comment that Phil made about his own son, I think, just about summed it up. So I thought I would share that.
No, that's very funny. But back to your point, like, if you have thin skin, you're in the wrong game. I mean, this game will beat you down to a nub. Like, you have to have thick skin in here.
It's funny that you say that, because you're 100% right when it comes to, for lack of a better word, and with respect to well, no, I'll just paraphrase Teddy Roosevelt and say, when it comes to the men and women in the arena, that's exactly right. And by that, I mean the horsemen and the horse players. Unfortunately, there's way too many, whether it's marketing or running the game. I mean, thin skin is rampant. I mean, it's almost like inbred royalty families sometimes, you know. Our sponsors at the Breeders' Cup, of course, accepted, but you know, it's too many folks who are you know, easily offended and not looking at the greater good when it comes to this stuff. Let's do this leaderboard here.
Yeah, go for it.
Del Mar race. Julie Leboyko now in first place with the place points on the 9 to get to 53.90. Carl Barth in second, 51.50. Mark Henderson, 44.40. David Browning hanging tough there at 42.70. Still in a tie with Stephen McNatton. Thomas Buechler right behind them, 42.50. Greg Kingman, the former HorsePlayers Happy Hour Tour champion, 41.30. Terrence Frank, Nathan Kaczynski, Matt Miller. They round out the top 10. You have to, I should have mentioned this before, you have to finish in the top 10 in a given week to get tour points. But we'll name check the others who are still advancing to play on Saturday through the regular Horse Players qualifier. Remember, go to horseplayers.com to get involved in that one, and there should be more feeders tomorrow. David Nielsen, GT Nixon, Arthur Winter, our own Trish Smith, Ryan Henderson, Thomas Mabry, Matt Letexier is the number 17 right now. One important race left, Frank. It's this 4th at Del Mar. Do you want to go over and look? Like, I don't want to mess your routine. Do you want to go look at them? I can filibuster a little bit or play a little bit of tape.
You know, this level of horses, I don't think my looking at them is gonna help any. But
okay,
if you want me to take a break, I'm more than happy to, and then come back on when they walk by.
I'm happy to go with you. I mean, I have some pre-roll we can do, but it's nothing that needs to be seen.
Because this is the last race in the contest, right?
Exactly. This is
so
the last race in the contest.
Can you pull up the leaderboard again and see, like, is anybody blocked? I mean, how is it looking from a strategy point?
See, I need. This is why I need a producer, Frank. So we've got, you know, in terms. Let's focus on the exacta spots, because as we talked about, if you get in the top 2, you make the exacta. So even David Browning, you know, he's blocked from winning it all, but with the 8, what price is the 8 right now? Can you see that, Frank?
Yeah, the 8 is unfortunately the favorite at 2-1.
But even that, so 2-1, you know, rule of 3. Yeah, he might be on the outside looking in terms of the exacta, but I'm sure he'll be happy with the tour points. Looks like Julie, you know, obviously would be in great shape with that one. Carl Barth has the 2. Mark Henderson right in behind him with the 1, only 7 points behind. What price?
The 2's 14s and the 1 is 22. So
geez, so
they're sitting on some bombers.
Even place points for those riders could be potentially game changing. What about the 6? What kind of price is the 6 that both Stephen McNatton and Thomas Buechler have back there? $11 off the lead.
Yeah, I was all about the 6 and the 9 in this race. The 6 is 5-1, which I think is a pretty good price.
Yeah, that'll get you first. That would mean you could have a McNatton Buechler 1-2 with the 6 winning, I would think, unless Julie picked up some place points, might be able to hang in there under that scenario. But you think that's the horse to beat?
Well, I think the 9 is the horse to beat. That's Princess Olivia. And since Deuce Bruce was so kind to give me his sheet, Princess Olivia happens to be his best bet on the card. So
I love it.
We'll see how he does. So I did think that horse looked good for Hess. And then I also liked the 6 horse Ace Baby. I just think they're both going to be forwardly placed. And, you know, as we've seen in the first couple of races, it's been speed. But I want to ask you a question, Pete, in terms of strategy, because I love playing these pick and praise. And my strategy typically, I know you have to take what the last race gives you, but typically I want to play a price horse that's going to be that very few people are going to have, because if I'm in front, I could block people who are taking that bomb, and B, if I'm kind of out of it, I'm up to bat with a long shot to win. But there's something to be said, like, you know what, I'm going to be in good position, maybe in first or second going into the last race, and I think the 5-2 shot is the most likely winner.
Yeah, the way
there's two trains of thought there. Yeah.
What you said first is the classic that I heard from multiple people when researching The Winning Contest Player, a book that may be brought back into print before too long, based on the success of Matt Miller's better way of thinking as we approach 500 units sold on that sucker in all formats. Pretty good for a horse racing book.
That's terrific.
Yeah. And especially given the margins on that one, this may be a little side business that we get ourselves into at some stage.
Great, just what I need. More work, Pete. More work. I don't get any sleep now during Del Mar as it is, but
well, how about this?
I love
if we bring back the Winning Contest Player, I mean, there's two ways to do it. We could the lazy man's way that would probably not sell many fewer copies would be to just bring the book back, new forward and afterward, call it a day.
Right.
The world has changed enough in 12 years or however long it's been that we could do a proper new book. That would be a lot more work, but at least we'd have the bones of it. It wouldn't be like
sure.
Which,
I'm just teasing. When we're talking about horse racing, it doesn't feel like work, and the day that it does start to feel like work is the day that I probably overstayed my welcome, but right now I love what I do.
It all depends on which aspect of it for me. As far as the actual work of handicapping and dealing with racing fans, I could do that till I was 100.
The best, yes.
The stuff on the industry side, it could be done tomorrow.
It makes publishing look like the best run business ever.
Exactly.
That's how messed up horse racing is.
Which is hard to do.
I know. But back to the strategy concept.
Back to the strategy question. So that's the accepted wisdom. But I think I think it just depends on your opinion. I think if I'm torn in the last race, I still would go long shot. But I think going long shot should be, if you're torn, the default decision in almost any race, depending on, obviously it really matters, like, what are we talking about? Do you have to be in the top half of a field? That's totally different.
Sure.
Just trying to pick winners. Do you have to be in the top 1%? That's a different strategy even than the top 10%. But for, using HorsePlayers Happy Hour specifically, you want to get in that exacta if you can. It just gives you such a nice little bit of equity by punching your ticket to that final tournament, the playoffs, and giving you those valuable tour points. So in that situation, if you're torn, absolutely, traditional idea, go for the long shot. But if you love a horse, if you can't see it another way, like, all points are equal. If you catch the long shot in race 3, then that's $7 you get in race, the last race of the contest. It doesn't matter. Points are points are points. And the most valuable points in these formats are horses that no one else has. So you got to keep that in mind too. If you notice a trend that everybody's reaching long in these last races, and you even just really like a 5-2, bet the damn 5-2, because other people won't have it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I know. You have to take what the race gives you, and I also think a lot of it has to go. You have to take it a step backwards. And how confident were you in your earlier picks? Were you kind of taking shots, or were you super confident that you figured, given the previous races and your opinion of those races, if you feel like you're going to be, first or second, then there's nothing wrong with taking, the logical horse to block people behind you or to get the points necessary to remain in the money. But, that's a hard thing to do, to try and do that exercise. So I think a lot of people, including myself, gravitate to just trying to take the long shot, but taking the long shot that most people aren't going to have. You don't take the obvious long shot. You have to take the long shot who looks horrendous.
We've talked about that so many times too. Again, that idea that a horse can be, contests are their own ecosystem. So value means something different. So there have been long shots in contests where they are 25-1 on the board and 5-2 in the room because everybody had them.
Everyone's a wise guy.
Exactly. There's that famous example of the Brendan Walsh horse. JK would remember the name at the tournament that, he's gone. So now we can talk more. I don't ever want to egg him on too much I'm not anti-NHC. I don't want to egg him on too much to be. So I sometimes just avoid. It's never meant to insult the National Horse Players Championship.
Yeah.
Where there was this Brendan Walsh horse that everybody had. I mean, the room was going crazy. Like, it was a regular day at the track and it was a 4-5 shot, 4 25-1 shot, or whatever it was. Oh, Trish brings up one that's so true when it comes to contest play about the curse of the split entries. Oh,
that's a great topic.
Yes,
because I suffer with that. That's so hard. But
it's so hard, and there's not a lot of advice other than, I mean, I think the way we used to do it was smart, where you sort of, because you just live by the sword, die by the sword. If you have the good ticket, bad ticket mentality, and by bad ticket you just mean the one with points versus the one that doesn't have
right.
points, and you just by rote the shorter
Try to
price.
leapfrog each other.
Yeah, right. The shorter price on one, the longer price on
Right.
the other. If you're torn, obviously you're always better if you can put a price on the bigger ticket. That's great. But if you're sort of like, I have this wonky long shot and I have this mid price that I really like, the mid price goes on the good ticket, the wonky long shot goes on the bad ticket.
Sure.
And if they split, they split. I mean, look, that's how we did it. That's how Paul Sherman says to do it, who's had as much success in the mythical formats as
one of the best.
Anybody not named Jose Arias, Sky Point. But I think that's the best advice I can give. It gets much harder in this pick and pray format, and keep an eye for me when these things are going to pop, Frank, so I don't completely talk over it.
Yeah, we still got 7 minutes to post here. I'll give you. You want a quick tote board update?
Yeah, run us through the tote board update.
The favorite is 5-2. That's the 8, but the 9 is also 5-2, and the 7 is 3-1. So very tight tote board on the outside post, which is interesting. The 6 is 5-1, and then from 5 in we got bombers. So the 1 is 23, the 2 is 15-1, the 3 is 13-1, and the 5 is 15-1. So interestingly enough, the best part of the track, the horses are the longest price. So I know you said a couple of people have the 1 and the 2, probably thinking that, if the horse makes the lead on the inside, could be tough.
Timeform has the 9 clearing, which is probably part of what that's all about. Do you think that's realistic?
Yeah, I mean, I think that horse is fast. It's all about, Talamo can get this one out of the gate and angle over. They're adding blinkers, but these jockeys aren't stupid. They know how the track is playing. Everybody is going to be going like a bat out of hell. And if you look at the one horse, the one horse, while maybe not on time form figures, this horse, won here at Del Mar going wire to wire at 5 furlongs last year as a juvenile. So this horse has speed, just because the last 2 races, might not show it as much. Those were against more expensive animals. I know they were 3-year-olds only, but they were more expensive animals. This is a pretty weak group for these $16,000 claimers. So, I wouldn't be surprised if Raylu got this horse out and, tried to just wire them.
How's he been doing, Raylu? He's such a sharp young guy. I loved his appearance on JK+1 a few years ago. Enjoyed talking to him at the LRF party. Oh, by the way, you're playing in Little Red Feather Cares on Sunday, double-barreled?
I'm already signed up for that, and I already got my tickets for the jockey karaoke at the Belly Up for the permanently disabled jockey fund. Best event of the summer. I'm hoping I can walk in there throwing money around after I win this. After I win the LRF charity contest.
Are you
on
signed
Sunday.
up to sing? Are you signed up to sing?
I'm not signed up to sing. So lucky for everyone. I am not. I am just merely an audience member and not a participant. So, but it's such a great time, and Mike Joyce usually hosts it. He does a great job. There's always a panel. The last couple of years, it was Joe Harper and Nick Casada, and then a couple of rotating ones. Maybe Michelle, you did it once, and it really is
full American Idol. Does somebody get to be great?
Yeah.
But
They're
Michelle
all snarky.
would be very good as the mean.
They're all mean. They're all hysterical. They all have really sharp senses of humor, but it's all in good fun. And I'm telling you, Pete, it's really one of my favorite nights of the summer, and it's for such a good cause. And in addition to the ticket purchase going to as a donation to help the jockey fund, they have all this memorabilia that they silent auction.
Awesome.
So I've gotten many Christmas presents for people there because the amount of stuff they have is mind blowing. So it's a great event.
That's very, very cool. They're on the track now. 4 minutes to post.
4
if you want to
minutes.
play in that LRF Cares contest, inthemoneypodcast.com/LRF will get you right to it. We got to sell that thing out, or I'll never hear the end of it from Gary. So
Yeah,
sell a few for me, will you?
I think it'll sell out.
It always does. We're a
it
little
always
behind where
does.
we usually are, but I guess the advantage of being a little behind where we usually are, as Tom posted the other day, I think it was Tom, or maybe it was Billy. Overlay alert, because they're paying out the full prize package.
Yeah, because because it's also run through TVG. TVG likes to make sure that it's a guaranteed payout, regardless of the number of entrants. But because of that, they will cap the number of entrants. So there is a chance that it will, and I'm hoping it'll sell out. I think it will. I think the horse players will come and support for a great cause.
Depending on which audience we're talking to, though, we can make it sound like it's a guaranteed overlay and maybe get some, some of the mom's basement crew involved.
Well, I don't know. It's no value. It's in this rake and that rake, and well, it's for charity, pal.
But it is possible that it will be a proper overlay. So
for sure.
A few notes before we get to this race. Trish mentions about wanting to read the winning contest player. For you, Trish, I may be able to find one of my personal copies and send it. Reach out to me. If you're interested in any of my books, this is the case. Actually, I probably have an e-version of Winning Contest Player. Reach out to me if you're interested. inthemoneypodcast.com. Go to the contact page. That goes to my personal email, and hopefully we can get you sorted out with that. What else? There was a couple other notes I had. One that we never described the lobster. We never got back to the lobster.
I'll let you do it because I know how to use it in a sentence, but I don't know the origin of it. But we got it from Bill Murray.
Yes, I think it was the great William Murray, the
William Murray.
Tip on a dead crab, etc. Yeah, it kind of galled me when the famous Bill Murray came out with his clothing line and then started calling himself William Murray for that. It's just confusing now. What am I doing here?
Very confusing because it's actually those shirts. I know they were meant for golf, but they're pretty good track wear as well.
Perfect for horse racing. I've never seen Andrew Brown without one. But so my understanding of the lobster is the horse that's supposed to take money.
Yes.
Isn't. A favorite that's cold on the board. The old boys called a lobster. No idea why. I've heard it before. Here's another one I heard the other day, and it was somebody who's not old, but got a schooler back there behind you. That horse looked all right.
Yeah, it's 1 minute to post. I was checking, but yeah.
No, but there are some horses wandering.
Yeah, there are some schoolers coming out. Yeah,
maybe some good. I'm too far away to see, but maybe some good-looking 2-year-olds. I don't know. Do you remember the term a roach? This horse, the 2 could be the roach.
Yeah. Oh, but what was it? It was like a sneaky horse.
I think it's a live long shot, like a
sneaky horse.
Live long shot.
Yeah. Oh my God, I haven't heard that since our OTB days with Larry Lunin and Jeff Tannen and Craig Hamlin, like all those guys. Remember that?
They would have said a roach. Who was it? I think it was Coach Ruda, who's now out at UCLA. I think used it in a group text the other day.
Is that right?
Yeah, Ruda used it, and the other kid, it was the youngins in the group text, and they were like, "Is a roach good or bad?" It's like, wait, it doesn't sound good, but it is good.
But it is good, yes. So it's a sneaky horse that looks bad on paper, but's taking money and makes you go, Opposite of a lobster. That's right.
A lobster, you could be a roach. The linguistics.
And tip on a dead crab too. I've read that book and I know what Bill means by dead crab, but again, what's the obsession with exoskeletons with horse players? You got roaches, you got lobsters, you got crabs.
You remember what a dead crab is, though, right?
A horse that's no good? I don't remember.
No, opposite. Sure thing.
Dead crab.
Do
you know the etymology, the behind it?
I think the idea with that was they must have been in TJ, and some sicko at the pub had. It must have been crab
racing.
Yeah, crab match racing. So the idea of a tip on a dead crab was one of the crabs in the match race was literally dead. Was making the other one
couldn't win. The other one was a sure thing.
Could not win. Poor crap.
Oh my God. I'm gonna have
to
to go back and read those Shifty
I
Lou
do
Anderson books,
Yeah,
man.
Shifty Lou Anderson, that was the name.
Yep.
I hope we
Yep.
don't get the animal rights people after us now. I've seen that movie before, but I
Yeah.
I
But you know,
weathered
you
the storm once. They can't lay a glove on me, Frank.
I bet. I mean, their argument is it's a straw man argument. They got no shot. But
Exactly.
mentioning you mentioned TJ. My seminar guest on Saturday is David Beltran, who is a horse player, but he is also an author, and he wrote
Yeah.
a book about agua caliente.
We met him in the press box at Del
Yep.
Mar years ago.
100%.
Right? On
Yep.
South American racing.
Yep.
And maybe he does some bloodstock.
He did. He was working with oh my God, he was such a good old school trainer, Henry Moreno, who has long since passed. But I mean, this guy was I mean, he was in the game for, you know, I think he passed away when he was 80 years old, and he was in the game since he was a kid. So David was pretty close with him and did some work with him. But I'm really excited to have him on the show to ask him about all that stuff because, unfortunately, Agua Caliente was before our time.
Yeah, we
but
never
you
got
hear you hear the stories about, you know, doing the Del Mar and then doing the Agua Caliente, and that's where the Pick Six got started. You know, just it sounds like such a great time.
I got to read that book, and I got to get a copy of that book for Marshall Graham because that's the kind of thing that Marshall would be down his street.
I will let David.
You see my horse won at Saratoga today?
No, Looms Boldly?
Boldly won.
I missed it. What was it?
John Morrissey.
Nice.
Historic figures. My second winner as an owner this meet after Gem Mint 10 the other day.
I didn't know you had a piece of that horse. Nice.
Oh, hell yeah.
That's a nice horse.
Flying. Hey, thank you, Brian, for commenting. Thanks to everybody out there. We hit 1,000 views on this show. That's a good number. Very, very happy to see that. Bet you a lot of you came here through our partnership with our friends at Naira and Fox and America's Day at the Races. Great to have new people involved. And, you know, we're going to keep this going. I don't think we missed a single beat without having the live races. In fact, I'd say it might have added something to the broadcast. It's kind of fun just to talk through them. You know,
I love it. Yeah, everyone's home watching it on their ADW anyway. So just a heads up, they're loading Pete. So there's like a couple of more to load. The 9 took some late money in his 9 to 5. My 6 horse is held steady at 5 to 1, and my other horse, the 8. No, actually, the 9 was my horse. So that horse is now favorite.
I take it your pick now would be the 6, just based on prices.
Yeah, I mean, if we were playing a live money contest, a live mythical contest, absolutely. I mean, you have to take the price. Or I mean, I might even gravitate to the 1 just based on the case that I made for the horse earlier. 22 to 1, depending on where you are on the leaderboard. You know.
So I mean, the whole story here is going to be: does the 9 clear? Because if the 9 doesn't clear, this 8 to 5 is going to look like a real underlay. So
he's going to have to work to clear. I know he's the fastest, but I guarantee you, every jock in that gate is going to come out guns blazing.
Yeah, them and their agents, they pay attention, and you know, I'm sure some are more in tune to bias than others. But yeah, it's interesting. It's a little bit like an old school Del Mar track, bringing to mind a special day we had with our man William Murray Godwin.
That's right.
That was 2000. Oh no, it's like 2000, right? Like, because
I was living here, but I wasn't here 2000. It had to be somewhere between 2001 and 2003. It was back in the day.
I'm almost
sure. Remember, I moved out here in 2000, but I went back to Saratoga to work for the special.
But is it possible we were out at Del Mar opening week and hit that, and then you came back? Or
well, that is possible. I mean, we'd have to look at the calendar, but yeah, that's. But Pete, I would say that this is even more pronounced than the old day. I mean, this is the most severe speed bias I've seen. I know back in the day it was a conveyor belt once you hit it, but this is a little more extreme.
The story I remember from that day, I don't know if it was in the pick 6 or just in that string of races, was there was a horse in the lead rail as they turned in, all in, and a horse traveling like a dream in behind. And I remember you cheering for this horse that was all in on the rail, and me being like, what has he never seen?
No shot.
This thing is going to get completely swallowed, and it just kept finding and won.
Yeah, that's how it goes. So here we go, and just the gentleman in the red striped shirt behind me is Mr. Paul Redham. So
Oh, very nice. Great contributor, multiple Kentucky Derby winner.
so the 9 did not clear. The 3 made the lead pretty easily, actually.
Yeah, I mean the 9 on this track has the work cut out, and you're 1 in a very good spot, I would say.
Yeah, they're bunching up.
Oh,
They're
the one
bunching
just
up.
checked.
Yeah, they're all bunching up.
One was, but
But
it's interesting. It does seem like the riders are very aware. I mean, there's some quarter horsing going on.
yeah,
I
it's a
don't know
cavalry
why.
charge, but I was surprised that the 3 cleared so easily. But now
And how
they're
about
just
this?
pressing
Why
it.
isn't he asking to stay clear? Why did he let those other horses come right up to him?
Well, he went 21 and change. He just might not be fast enough for the half mile. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, I hated the ride. He was trying to conserve when he should have been going. This 9 may win anyway.
Yeah, it's
Coming
possible.
down the center now. Is anybody?
My 6 is digging in, but the 9 is just too good. Just had a class advantage. Maybe my 6 can hold second.
Yeah, you may give us the now. Their horses
No.
flying from the back.
No, I think the 6 held. 9-6, I believe. You know, the money showed 6-5 in the end. That was the best horse in the race, the classiest horse. But, you know, I feel like in the contest, that's a tough horse to use, just given the post and the way the track was playing. But
yeah,
that does encourage me that, you know, maybe things will change a little bit and we'll have more of a fair racetrack.
The fact that it
We'll
was
see.
a 6-5 shot and the way they bet the race makes me think that horse was just so much better.
Yeah,
it didn't matter.
If that horse was inside, he probably would have won by 10.
Right, that horse won. I mean, that horse won despite the way the track was playing. Is my best guess.
So does that shake anything up? I'm guessing probably not, but
let's take a look, and then we'll wait. Let me know when it's official.
Sure.
But yeah, let's go back over here and see. The first 9 is Greg Kingma. It's just not going to do it. It'll get Greg more tour points, but we're going to be, I think, locked in because I don't think the place points on the 6 are going to do enough. It's going to affect tour points in a big way, but I don't think it's going to affect our exacta. And then what about down here? So Matt Miller will get more valuable tour points as a result of that, as will David Nielsen. So there'll be, you know, some minor effects in terms of who gets the tour points. It's the top 10 that get tour points in HorsePlayers Happy Hour. We'll see
9, 6, 5, 7 is the unofficial result.
Great. Once it goes official, we're going to read this through quickly, and then my Uber is outside waiting to take me to dinner. So we'll do that.
Where are you going?
Get out of here. Down to Albany. Cafe Italia, one of our favorites down in Albany, has a new location open.
Nice.
So we're going to check. We're going to check that one out. You know, I don't have any sort of PCG level obsession place up here. Mostly, really, actually, if I do, it's where I'm sitting. It's this kitchen where we love to cook, and it's been so fun. One of the great farmers markets in the world, right here in Saratoga. So we got that cooking, which will be fun. But yeah, hopefully you can be back with us next Thursday. Really looking forward to, you know, keeping this momentum going. Where will I be next Thursday? I'll be live at Saratoga. I'm actually doing a charity event at Saratoga, so nice. I'll be. If the weather is nice, I'll be up there on the roof, and they don't kick me out. I'll be up there on the roof doing the show. So hopefully you can join in for that this second hour once again. Hopefully we'll have a little bit better weather at Saratoga. Still haven't seen what they're going to do with all these races. It sounds like they're going to. Sounds to me. I think they would have announced it already if they were going to move the whole thing to Monday. I'm guessing they're just going to recard. You know, maybe they'll just take the L on Friday. Point for this Saturday, Sunday. We'll remind folks again to get involved in this LRF Cares Charity Challenge. Also remind folks, and I include you in this, Frank, take a look at the new Contest Jockey YouTube. I went to the Contest Jockey site the other day to check it out, but now you say the YouTube channel? Well, we made a video. We did a final table invitational to help launch, and it's up on the In the Money Media YouTube channel. So make sure you go there, subscribe, and also critically watch that. And then you can go to the Contest Jockey site that you mentioned, and over there you can sign up for a free account. We've got a game on Sunday to win a $300 buy-in into a future Naira Bets game. So that'll be fun. But yeah, main betting partner for the Breeders' Cup is TVG. We hope you're active with their contest, and we hope you play in the Little Red Feather contest on Sunday. Best way to do that as we refresh and get our finals here.
Yeah, it's official. The race is official.
Go to inthemoneypodcast.com/LRF. So what happens? Julie LeBoyko holds.
Nice.
Paul Barth gets that second spot with 51.50. Greg
So the
King,
top two didn't change.
top two
right?
did not change.
Okay.
And then started to move around with the points. That's what happens next with Greg King, with Stephen McNatton, Thomas Buchler. Matt Miller gets up into 6th. That's important. Tour points for him as well as an entry into Saturday. Mark Henderson, GT Nixon, David Browning, Arthur Winter. Those are the top 10. They get tour points. And then we've got 7 more that will punch their tickets into Saturday's $189 qualifier. Go to horseplayers.com and play in that. David Nielsen, Ryan Henderson, Thomas Maybury, Phil Hodebeck, Terrence Frank, David Pierce, Nathan Kaczynski, and that's it. That's 17. So there you have it. Frank, appreciate you coming on. We look forward to talking to you soon. You can read Frank's daily coverage over at dmtc.com. And if you want even more, check him out on the In the Money Plus side, inthemoneypodcast.com/plus. For Frank, for JK, for our friends at the Breeders' Cup, especially Haley and Justin, I'm Peter Thomas Fornatel. May you win all your photos.